I'm Chris, and I am a survivor of a major motorcycle accident. This channel is going to be kind of a one-off thing where people that have been in a near accident or have been in accidents or something like that can relate, or that might be able to get some inspiration of where I've come from and to where I am now, and be able to go, oh, he did it, maybe I can too. So the first thing I'm going to do is kind of give you my backstory and kind of tell you, come here, buddy. My little doggy here is kind of pestering me. Come here. Come on. Come here. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. Anyway. Come here, silly dog. And this is my dog, Scrappy. You'll see a lot of videos of him. He just loves to be in videos. He loves to go for walks. Loves to get mad at other dogs. He's just a puppy, but he's still got quite a personality. Anyway, what I was saying with regards to how this channel is going to work, I'm going to kind of give you a backstory of where I came from and where I started riding in 2018. Inspired by my father-in-law. And my mother-in-law too. 2018, we're sitting around kind of our gazebo type thing that we have in our backyard, just chatting and having some drinks and stuff like that. And one of the things that he does is goes, "Hey, you should get your license." And without dropping a beat, everybody started looking for the nearest place to get the motorcycle safety course. And my wife was one of the first ones to do it. And she goes, "Hey, they're having a class in August or July or whatever it was." I'm like, "You serious?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Let's do it." And then also sitting around the table by us is my stepson, Christopher. He was like, "Well, shoot, I'm going to do this too." And he got into the same class and I did. So we both did the class. What I think was funny is he did the paperwork, the test you do in the class. He got 100%, I think. And I did the actual practical out on the course, and I got 100% without any deductions. That was pretty funny. But along the way, I've been able to ride with my wife. My first bike was a Heritage Classic, 2011, I believe it was. And that one I loved like crazy. It got me just about from everywhere. I used to drive it to work starting from the spring when it was just a little bit cold, to the fall, to right where it was just getting a little bit too cold to ride. And there was about 2, maybe 3 months in summertime where I had to stop riding just because it was just too cold or it was snowing or something like that. So that's kind of how I started riding. Around 2021, while I was doing that, when I first got the motorcycle, my Heritage, I played hooky from work, took leave, and it was a Friday. It was a beautiful day, and I took my bike out and I just went riding. I was going around the curves, doing turns from stops and stuff like that. I was having a great day. I wasn't making any mistakes. And then I was on my way back home, and I was almost there. and going through one of the last towns that we have there before we get to my house. And there was a light, an intersection, and it turned yellow. And we were pretty close to the light, so I assumed, which I shouldn't have, that the other car in front of me was going to go through it. And so I didn't start braking in time. Well, I was wrong. The other person in front of me slammed on their brakes. Well, the little class that they teach you teaches you a little bit on how to stop in an emergency, but it doesn't tell you about the grease and everything else in the middle of the road. And that's one thing I think they need to warn new riders about is stay on the two sides of the road where you see where most cars have ridden, because that grease and oil and shit that's in the middle, especially in the intersections, builds up. Well, they stopped. I slammed on my brake. I was coming to a stop, and I got into one of those sections, and my front tire just went boom, and I went down. Well, I survived that. That was fine. No problem. I was like, oh shit. I smacked my head. I had a dislocated shoulder, had surgery, fixed that, and I'm all good to go. And about 3-4 weeks later, I'm back on my bike. Nothing happened to the bike. It was a sturdy old girl. And we went from there. In 2021, I traded it in because I can't take one bike or keep the old bike, my starter, which she was pretty. I loved her. I do miss her. And I traded her in for a 2021 Road Glide. It was red, accented with black. It was just beautiful. And that has been my go-to ever since I got it. I mean, when I was working, I rode it to work, and I worked in downtown Washington, D.C., where it gets quite a bit of traffic and quite a bit of crazy people. So I went in there and had a good time until it was time for my wife and my daughter saying that they wanted to take a class. Well, that's when things get a little bit of interesting. They took their class at the local Harley-Davidson dealer, and they both loved it, enjoyed it. My daughter loved it so much that she bought a motorcycle. Well, we didn't have to buy a motorcycle. My wife inherited her father's trike, which is a 2008 Ultra Glide converted into a trike. So she had that one to go to. Well, she bought a Honda Rebel, and that thing was so tiny from my perspective after riding a road glide. And she didn't feel comfortable riding the bike and on the major roads just right then and there. So she asked me to bring it home for her, and I did. And that's when I got into a major motorcycle accident. The person pulled out in front of me and bypassed two. She pulled in from, I'm getting ready to go onto a 4-lane road, two coming this way, two going that way. And then in the middle, there's a place for cars to turn left in front of me. Well, that's not where this person was coming from. They were coming from over at the far end. And that's not governed by lights. But this person decided that they want to go and were being impatient. Went there, didn't stop in the middle, and went in front of me, and I hit them. I hit the car. From the way the accident scene looks, I tried to avoid it and did the side thing, and this whole side of my body hit the car. I went over, broke 2 arms as I went like this, smacked my head a couple times, rolled, and I was semi-conscious till the state troopers, medevac came by. They airlifted me out. It took them 8 minutes to get me to the hospital. And from there, it was 8 hours of surgery. before the doctor came out to my wife and said that I was alive. And with that, I'm going to leave you to cover the next section that we cover is going to be a little more of the accident scene and stuff like that, and tell you how I felt during the hospital stays and stuff like that. Anyway, I'll let you go now. I'll talk to you guys later. You guys ride safe. Bye. Why am I doing this? Well, I figured that if other riders have been through what I've been through and have had a hard time getting back on the road, that they might get some inspiration from what I've been through and how long it took me to get back on the road. Because I did. I missed riding and the way the freedom felt being on the motorcycle. And I'll tell you, that first ride was pretty scary, but it was the best I felt in like over a year and a half. And I only rode 3 times since my accident in 2023, only because I was in the hospital for, 3 months in intensive care. I went to National Rehab Center for 2 months, and to get my body into a spot where I had to relearn how to walk, how to sit up, how to eat, all that stuff. I spent 2 months there doing all that stuff, and just enough to where I could walk, get myself up, get to the kitchen, those types of things. And I did more rehab when I got home and stuff like that. So that's where we are. So I'll talk to you guys later. You guys ride safe. Have yourselves a great day, and God bless.